Hi, welcome back. It's Sarah from Roadworthy. So, normally on Saturdays, I do sort of a weekly reads update. I actually didn't complete a ton of stuff this week. Um, I don't know why. Well, I just had other stuff going on and being out and about. Um, I had a yarn crawl. Um, it was Independent Bookshop Day. My son is in PT. That takes up a ton of time. I had a sketching outing. So, like, just lots of things where I was out and about and actually not reading very much. So, what I wanted to do instead is actually go through my May TBR and sort of talk about, um, in addition to Gray in May, talk about Misery May and um, Mental Health May. So those are two other readathons that are going on in the month of May. I will put announcement videos down below um, if you want more information. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit about Gray and May. I will link Sarah's video below where she goes through the group reads. So for those of you who don't know, Sarah from Eyes on Indie and I are hosting a readathon to celebrate Grey Wolf Press's 50th anniversary. And so in Sarah's Discord channel, there are several people participating. And the goal is really to just discover Grey Wolf books, read Grey Wolf Press books. I'll put a link to their website down below. And in Discord, we've chosen 5 group reads. And again, people can read as many of these or one of these, whatever. Um, so we'll go through those briefly. So first, and these are not in any order, they're just in the order that I'm choosing to discuss them. Is Max Porter's Grief is the Thing with Feathers. I did just try to listen to this on audiobook, and the playfulness of his language um, is, I feel like I need to read it first. I felt like, although the rhythm and it was fun to listen to, I feel like the actual content, the words, going right past me. Um, so I need to get the book for that one. So the other things that people selected was She Would Be King by Wayetu. And in Sarah's video, she goes through the plots of these books. So I won't do that here. I'll just link to her video. Ongoingness, The End of a Diary by Sarah Manguso. This very slim little book, so that should be easy. And then The Collected Schizophrenias, which is an essay collection from Esme, Weijun, Wang. And she talks about her path to being diagnosed with schizophrenia and also living with schizophrenia. This obviously also fits in with Mental Health May, which is a readathon hosted by Marion, Maya Mendoza, and Kim at middle of the book March. And it's just to read books that have a mental health theme to raise awareness about mental health and by encouraging folks to read more books about mental health. It's sort of our way of doing our part to reduce the stigma associated with mental health. So that is this one. And then I'm in the middle of Brickmakers by Selva Armada. And this is translated by Annie McDermott. Yes, I love this cover. But let me speak about this book briefly. So I'm about halfway done. And misery may. I never intend to read miserable books because I feel like that's hard in the sense that you read the blurb on the back and maybe it sounds like it's gonna be miserable, but it's really not, you know, when you read it. Or a book that you don't think it's going to, and then it really hits you, and it does turn into a book that's miserable. So I think it's really hard to select books for that readathon. And I also feel like I spent a lot of time thinking about what is a miserable book. I guess to me, those books that I really find sort of depressing and hard hitting are those books where maybe there's external forces acting on our protagonist, and they really don't have any agency. You know, it's, war is an obvious example, or, kidnapping, torture, those kinds of things where, again, our protagonist really has no control over the situation. There's another group of books where I feel like there's societal expectations or societal forces and pressures acting on our main character, and sometimes those really make our main character miserable, or force our main character to make really poor choices. Um, yeah, I feel like that can sometimes be miserable. I feel like often with books that I find depressing are books where you feel like the main character maybe has no escape options. Things are just rolling down on them, and you don't really see how they're going to escape. And so the so those are sort of, and I just feel like books like that, it's not like you're going to find that on the blurb, and I feel like it's hard to identify, and so I never sort of intentionally opt to participate in this readathon, if that makes any sense. This is a readathon, FYI, that is hosted by Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, and Gemma over at Gemma Books. And so I mentioned Brickmakers is one of the group reads for Gray and May. And I'm finding this book to actually be kind of a miserable May choice. This fits that people making choices that are really poor. I feel like there's no escape for these characters. I feel like there's societal pressures on them, just putting them in really terrible situations that they aren't going to get out of. So I'll talk more about that when I finish this book. But this feels a little bit miserable to me. So I feel like I'm participating, and I didn't know I was going to participate in Misery May. um, so the other, like I mentioned, big readathon going on is Mental Health May. Um, and I would like to get to Ceremony by Leslie Marmon Silko. This is about an Indigenous man, I want to say after World War II. So this is Teo, who is an Army veteran who is a prisoner of war of the Japanese, and he returns to the Laguna Pueblo Reservation to heal and recover from that experience. So, so this I've selected for Mental Health May, and who knows, it could be for Misery May too. I don't know. And then as part of Independent Bookshop Day, I did get some books, just 2 books. But where I went, if you bought something, you could select a wrapped book out of their grab bag. So blind date with a book, grab bag, whatever people call that. And they had a bunch of arcs wrapped up, and I selected this one based on the little sticker on it said community expectations, familial strife, and the struggle for survival. So based on that, I picked this book. A Kind of Madness, which is a short story collection by Uche Okonkwo. She is a Nigerian author who is currently studying in the United States to get her PhD in creative writing. Yes. So, A Kind of Madness. So, this is listed as 10 stories concerned with literal madness, but also those private feelings that, when left unspoken, can feel like a type of madness. So I think this will have themes of mental health. I have other books on their way from the library that will also fit into Mental Health May or Gray in May. And we'll see how many of them I actually get to. So that's sort of what I've got planned for May. It's it's a busy time of year, and so I kind of don't want to overcommit, but we'll see how that goes. Sorry, wind is blowing. Good Lord. So I'm excited to watch some of people's videos, sharing what they're going to read for some of these readathons. Jess over at Stocking Kafka has a most brilliant Misery May TBR video. I'll link that below because it's just so fantastic. You need to watch it. I think that's it. I think that's all I got going on. So I'm looking forward to seeing what people are reading, and I am really looking forward to people sharing what they're going to be reading for Gray in May. So please remember to use the Gray Wolf May hashtag so I can find your videos. I think that's it. I think that's all I want to say. I think that's it. All right. Hope you all are doing well and reading good things.